paying attention to the Wall Street Journal last week, you would have seen an article about Robinhood. Their stock went public recently, and the article in the Wall Street Journal was talking about how on a particular day of trading, a whole ton of unusual options contracts were being written for the stock. And if you watch the stock after all those options contracts were sold, there was this just enormous jump in the price from it almost doubled over just a day period, from in the low 30s up to almost 70. And a lot of folks who were really good investors, they at bigger firms, they were watching these options contracts come through, keeping track of them. And so they knew something is going on. There's some sort of momentum, some sort of information out there that's causing lots of people to think that the stock price for Robinhood is going to go through the roof. All those people are writing these contracts. And so this type of watching what's going on with options data is something that Intrinio calls unusual options activity. We include it in our real-time options feed. So what is this? Why would you want it? And why is this kind of happening right now? So there's lots of different kinds of unusual options activity. And this options activity can be the same as you see in the stock market. It could be just large trades. It could be lots of trades happening for a company, but it can also be trades that are happening off exchange, so privately negotiated, sometimes called dark pool trades that can happen in the stock market and in the options market. And there's something a little more sophisticated called a sweep, which is where an options trader will be trying to execute a trade, and they will break it up across exchanges to get the best execution price in different options markets. So there's all these different kinds of unusual options activity, and Intrinio tracks these on our API. So you can get this data in REST format, delayed format, or real-time format. And it's going to alert you when large trades are occurring, when lots of trades are occurring. There's a lot of volume in a particular option contract, or when just something strange like a sweep is occurring. Some of that stuff happens every day. But if you have insight into this type of options volume that's going on, it can almost serve as a predictor for what's going to happen with the stock. And that's what we saw happen with Robinhood. And you can track this yourself if you have real-time options data, but we have some experts here that have built the functionality to track it for you. And this can be really helpful if you're trying to trade a stock. So if you notice lots of activity coming in that tells you that there might be something about to happen to that stock price that you can get ahead of. And if you have that information, you can trade on it. But another thing that's really interesting about unusual options activity is not for an individual trader, like if you want to trade this information yourself, but if you run a platform or a website or a research tool, and you have lots of folks coming to your website, you want to increase engagement with those people. These are the people that are following meme stocks. Robinhood is a great example. That's where they're trading GameStop or other kind of like popular AMC type trades. They're looking for information throughout the day about what's going to happen, because they want to trade and take advantage of the momentum in a particular stock. If your website can display that unusual options activity and alert those folks, that gives them a very good reason to come to your website and check that out. And just to stay in the loop, because if you read these articles that are on the Wall Street Journal, the title of this one is Robinhood stock price jumps as options trading begins. If you read the article, you'll notice throughout it, they're quoting these experts. And these are folks that are very sophisticated. They have a lot of inside information and experience. You can kind of democratize that experience and information if you're showing this unusual options activity on your website. So it gives people a reason to pay attention. It gives people a reason to come to your site or your platform and use it. So if you're not familiar with unusual options activity, you can read more about it at intrinio.com. We've got a blog called What is Unusual Options Activity and Why Would You Want It? You might want to check that out. And I think you're going to see a lot more of this. People are just starting to become aware of what unusual options activity is. because the tools and the APIs have become a little more sophisticated in allowing folks to track this kind of activity in the market in real time. It's been a tool, dark pool trading in the securities market for a long time. And the institutional investors have had access to this for options for a while. But I think in the next few years, you're going to notice a lot of people paying attention and a lot more news about options volume happening before a movement in the stock and allowing people to get ahead of it.